Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. My name is Lily Chan. Today's story we'll be reading is The Life of Sariputta, compiled and translated from the Pali text by Nayana Panika Thera. Part 3. The Further Shore, the Last Step, Paid 1 of 2. We now come to the year of the Master's Parinirvana. The Blessed One had spent the rainy season at Beluva village near Vesali, and when the retreat was over, he left that place in going by the way he had come, returned by stages to Savatthi, and arrived at the Jeddah Grove Monastery. There the elder Sariputta, the marshal of the laws, paid homage to the Blessed One and went to his day quarters when his own disciples had saluted him and left. He swept the place and spread his leather mat. Then, having rinsed his feet, he sat down cross-legged and entered into the state of fruition attainment of arahatship. At the time predetermined by him, he arose from the meditation, and this thought occurred to him: do the enlightened ones have their final passing away first, or the chief disciples? And he saw that it is the chief disciples who pass away first. Thereupon he considered his own life force and saw that its residue would sustain him only for another week. He then considered, where shall I have my final passing away? And he thought, Rahula finally passed away among the deity of the 33, and the elder Kodana, the knower of the Chedanta lake, where then will be my place? While thinking this over repeatedly, he remembered his mother, and the thought came to him: although she is the mother of 7 arahats, she has no faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Has she the supportive conditions in her to acquire that faith, or has she not? Investigating the matter, he discerned that she had the supportive conditions for the path intuition, or avisamaya, of stream entry. Then he asked himself, through whose instruction can she win to the penetration of truth? And he saw that not through anyone else, but only through his own instruction in the Dhamma could it come about. And following upon that came the thought, if I now remain indifferent, people will say, Sariputta has been a helper to so many others on the day. For instance, when he preached the discourse to the deities of tranquil minds, a large number of devas attained arahatship, and still more of them penetrated to the first 3 paths. And on other occasions, there were many who attained to stream entry, and there thousands of families who were reborn in heavenly worlds after the elder had inspired them with joyous confidence in the triple gem. Yet despite this, he cannot remove the wrong views of his own mother. Thus, people may speak of me. Therefore, I shall free my mother from her wrong views and shall have my final passing away in the very chamber where I was born. Having made that decision, he thought, this very day I shall ask the master's permission, and then leave for Nalaka. And calling the elder Kunda, who was his attendant, he said, friend Kunda, Please ask a group of 500 bhikkhus to take their bowls and robes, for I wish to go to Nalaka. And the elder Kunda did as he was bidden. The bhikkhus put their lodgings in order, took their bowls and robes, and presented themselves before the elder Sariputta. He, for his own part, had tidied up his living quarters and swept the place where he used to spend the day. Then, standing at the gate, he looked back at the place, thinking, "This is my last sight of it. There will be no more coming back." Then, together with the 500 bhikkhus, he went to the Blessed One, saluted, and spoke. "May, O Lord, the Blessed One permit, may the Exalted One consent. The time of my final passing away has come. I have relinquished the life force. Lord of the world, O greatest sage, from life I soon shall be released, going and coming no more shall be. This is the last time that I worship thee. Short is the life that now remains to me, but 7 days from now, and I shall lay this body down, throwing the burden off. Granted, O Master, give permission, Lord. At last for me, Nibbana's time has come. Relinquished have I now the will to live." Now, says the text, if the Enlightened One were to have replied, "You may have your final passing away," hostile sectarians would say that he was speaking in praise of death. And if he had replied, "Do not have your final passing away," they would say that he extolled the continuation of the round of existence. Therefore, the Blessed One did not speak in either way, but asked, "Where will your final passing away take place?" The Venerable Sariputta replied, "In the Magadha country, in the village called Nalaka. There in the chamber of my birth shall I finally pass away." Then the Blessed One said, "Do, Sariputta, what you think timely, but now your elder and younger brethren in the Sangha will no longer have the chance to see a bhikkhu like you. Give them once more a discourse on Dhamma." The great elder then gave a discourse, displaying all his descending to mundane truth. Rising again, and again descending, he expounded the Dhamma directly and in symbols. And when he had ended his discourse, he paid homage at the feet of the Master, embracing his legs. He said, "So that I might worship these feet, I threw out an aeon and 100,000 kalpas. My heart's wish has found fulfillment. From now on, there will be no more contact or meeting. Severed now is that intimate connection. The city of Nibbana, the unaging, undying, peaceful, blissful, heat-assuaging, and secure, which has been entered by many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas, I too shall enter it now. If any deed or word of mine did not please you, O Lord, may the Blessed One forgive me. It is now time for me to go." Now, once before, the Buddha had answered this, when he said, "There is nothing, be it in deeds or words, wherein I should have to reapproach you, Sariputta. For you are learned, Sariputta, of great wisdom, of broad and bright, quick keen and penetrative wisdom. So now he made answer in the same way. I forgive you, Sariputta, he said, but there was not a single word or deed of yours that was displeasing to me. Do now, Sariputta, what you think timely. From this we see that on those few occasions when the master seemed to reapproach this his sheep disciple, it was not that he was displeased with him in any way, but rather that he was pointing out another approach to a situation, another way of viewing a problem. Immediately after the master had given his permission, and the venerable Sariputta had risen from paying homage at his feet, the great earth cried out, and with a single huge tremor shook to its watery boundaries. It was as though the great earth wished to say, though I bear these girdling mountains, ranges with Mount Meru, the encircling mountain walls, or Kakavala, and the hymn of it, I cannot sustain on this day so vast an accumulation of virtue. A mighty thunder split the heavens, a vast cloud disappeared, the heavy rain poured down. Then the Blessed One thought, I shall now permit the marshal of the law to depart. And he rose from the seat of law, went to his perfumed cell, and there stood on the jewel slab. 3 times the venerable Sariputta circumambulated the cell, keeping it to his right, and paid reverence at 4 places. And this thought was in his mind. An eon and 100,000 kalpas ago, it was when I fell down at the feet of the Buddha and Namadasi and made the aspiration to see you. This aspiration has been realized, and I have seen you. At the first meeting, it was my first sight of you. Now it is my last, and there will be none in the future. And with raised hands joining in salutation, he departed, going backwards until the Blessed One was out of sight. And yet again, the great earth, unable to bear it, trembled to its watery boundaries. The Blessed One went addressed the bhikkhus who surrounded him. Go, bhikkhus, he said, accompany your elder brother. At these words, all the 4 assemblies of devotees at once went out of the Jeta grove, leaving the Blessed One there alone. The citizens of Savatthi, also having heard the news, went out of the city in an unending stream, carrying incense and flowers in their hands, and with their hair wet, the sign of mourning. They followed the elder, lamenting and weeping. The venerable Sariputta then admonished the crowd, saying, this is a road that none can avoid, and asked them to return, and to the monks who had accompanied him, he said, you may turn back now, do not neglect the master. Thus he made them go back, and with only his own group of disciples, he continued on his way. Yet still some of the people followed him, lamenting, formerly our venerable went on journeys and returned, but this is a journey without return. To them the elders said, "Be heedful, friends. Of such nature indeed are all things that are formed and conditioned, and he made them turn back." Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha.